Hey GED students, it's GED question of the day time, and we just have the one word calculate here, and we can see that they've given us a little division expression. They'd like us to calculate, they'd like us to do the math. So 225 divided by 3/10, or 0.3 as some GED students read that, but I would read that as 3/10. That's what they're asking me to do. Okay, so this is the final video in our little series we've been doing on dividing decimals. So by now, I'm expecting you to have a little bit of an algorithm developed, a standard method. So we're going to use that standard method to do this problem. So first of all, I would remind you that this is a divided by symbol. To do this on paper, we usually use long division, and the order switches in long division. I'm doing 0.3 into 225. Now, if you're a GED student of mine, you know it's time to scream because you see a decimal trying to get into the house. We do not divide by decimals, at least not in the standard algorithm, okay? It's not that it's impossible, it's just that it makes things trickier. And so what we do is we use a little trick to turn your decimal here into a whole number. So this is what I'm going to do when I have a number outside of the house here that's a decimal. I am going to jump the decimal to the backside in order to turn 3/10 into 3 one-whole things. So that my new number is 3. Now you might be saying, and you'd be right if you were, Kate, I can't just change 3/10 into 3 whole things. Those aren't equivalent. It's not the same thing. You're right. And so what I'm going to have to do here is make another change in order to balance out my action. Okay? We do this a lot in math. We make 2 changes so that one change will balance out the other. And so what we need to do here is we need to make sure that by whatever ratio we change the first number, whether you realized it or not, by turning this into a whole number 3, we made this 10 times as big. So we moved a decimal place once, making it 10 times as large. So by whatever ratio we change the first number, we have to change the second number as well. We have to make this number 10 times as large. Now you might be thinking, Kate, how am I going to do it? This number doesn't have a decimal. Remember, when you don't see a decimal, it's a whole number, like 225 whole dollars. So the decimal's right here at the back. And all you're going to do is just move that decimal 1 to the right. You might be saying, Kate, there's no place to take that. Well, yeah, you just fill that little blank in with 0. Remember what I said? When you move a decimal place once, the number got 10 times as large. So basically, if the number you're dividing by gets 10 times as large, so does the number you're dividing into. They're both going to get 10 times as large. And by keeping that relationship between the two, we'll end up with the same answer. So here we go. Now we can divide. Let's give it a try. Well, 3 doesn't go into 2, but it sure does go into 22 7 times. 3 times 22 is 21. I'll take that out so I can find out how much of that 22 I have left. And I have 1 left, and I'll drop the next digit. 3 goes into 15 5 times, and of course I used that up. 3 times 5 is 15. That's gone. So I have nothing left there. All I have left now is another 0, and of course 3 goes into 0 0 times. And so what is 225 divided by 3/10? Well, it's the same as 2,250 divided by 3. It's 750. Great. If you have any questions about this or any other GED math concept, be sure to drop it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it.